I think it's the same thing as the Maggie flashback. It's meant to put you in Karen's shoes. It's meant to make you feel for her. It's meant to contextualize why Karen is so harried and feels so bad in the modern setting. It's pretty tragic. It's pretty traumatic what happens to her, and I feel like you can.
But it doesn't
really
change. It doesn't change her, right? Like, this is the thing that I can't get past is the Karen that we get here, the clever, conniving, trying to do the right thing, sacrificing herself. It's the same Karen that we know.
Yeah.
I know. This isn't before Karen. It's Karen fully formed with a tragedy that happens to her. There's no comportment of character.
And that's exactly why I think that's the only function this flashback has, is to make you be like, oh shit, she's been through some shit, and I understand why she's has so much trauma. But as you said, like, it doesn't I feel like it even doesn't recontextualize anything in the show. Like, if they left her backstory as a mystery, like, it wouldn't. That scene where she's talking to the woman whose father was beaten, and she's like, oh, people think I killed my brother. If you watch that scene with or without the context of this flashback, it doesn't change anything.
Because she's the same. And my biggest critic, what I said before turns out not to be true, which is that when I was saying that, like, oh, maybe it being written by committee has an effect. This is what's affected it. Is a diligent, careful writer would have approached this and gone, what is Karen before this? And started with that. Maybe she's a bit more hapless, less conniving, right? Like, you have to give me proto Karen not fully formed, and she's so fully formed. And the worst part is all of the ideas are great, and the Kingian thing is only lent on to an extent. There's a great line which she says to Todd, which she says, I feel like if I she's talking about the diner. She goes, I feel like if I burned it down, it'd respawn by morning. What a, like, this idea that this thing is, like, so existentially perpetual in their lives that, like, even destroying it feels like it'd just come back. Like, there's so many good ideas here, and none of them come together. Even some other stuff that I found really frustrating, like her dad calls pancakes for dinner Karen cakes. Stuff like that has no place in this script. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like, it becomes real clicky real quick.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like,
yeah. I will become more positive on it in a second, but to schematically lay this out, so we've already kind of given you the kind of broad strokes, but we don't, some detail here. Paint some, what do they say? Paint around the frame, as it were. So the conflict is that Kevin is the burnout boyfriend that Karen is sleeping with, and they're selling drugs and stuff like that.
No, that's her brother.
Todd is the burnout boyfriend. Kevin is the brother. It's because you shouldn't have two characters. Unrelated to this, there are so many characters in this show that have F as the name. It's like Foggy, Fogwell, Fisk, Felix Manning. Like, I have to edit my summaries to not have F's back to back so that you don't fucking have a tongue twister moment, Pat.
Oh, thank you. So considerate.
You're welcome. So the what I want to get to here is schematically, she's in the small town. She's selling drugs to and I found Wikipedia's summary so fascinating, where it's like Karen sells drugs because she's bored of her small town life, which is what her brother accuses her of. And really, the subtext of that is her brother saying, if you don't leave, you're gonna be trapped in Todd's vortex forever. Like, this is it for you. And again, very, very Kingian. And what's actually true is that she can't leave because her brother and her dad can't take care of themselves. Well, she doesn't believe they can take care of themselves because her dad just keeps making these irresponsible choices in service of her mum's memory. And it's this sort of, like, if we just keep it going and we maintain the illusion, that's honoring her memory. And the way that this shakes out is Kevin re-enrolls Karen in college, and she's lured to a dinner with them, and they're sitting on the opposite side of the table. Notable framing, really good filmmaking. And Karen kind of wigs out. She's like, I can't leave because, you two have no fucking idea how the universe works. You don't know how life works. And she grabs the framed lotto ticket, which is, her mum used to buy these lotto tickets, and it's the last lotto ticket she bought before she died of cancer, right? And she breaks the frame and she scratches the lotto ticket, and they won nothing. And Karen delivers this line where she says, "Mum felt like she was dying here a long time before she got cancer."
You ever wonder why Mom kept buying lottery tickets?
She bought them for something to hope on when she went into remission.
Yeah, and you know what she was hoping? She was hoping that if she ever got a second chance, she would get us the hell out of here. Well, Mom never got to find out, so let's see, huh?
Put that down!
What do you think? One scratch, and we pay off all the bills. One scratch, and we go our own way. One last gift from Mom.
Don't. Ken, please don't.
Mom lost again. We all lose. Now we know.
Yeah, it's. I think you're right. The execution falls short because all of this material should work. As written, it could be cliche, and it is in the way that it's presented here. But it could, this could work. And I think it's because the inciting incident is nothing. It's her brother re-enrolling her to college. That is what kicks all this off. It needed to be something more existential. I don't know what, right?
I've written down here. I've tried to sort of have a go at what the themes of this flashback is and how they tie into the rest of the show. And I wrote, it's about losing. And in terms of if you want a before and after of Karen's life trajectory, you won't get that. But in terms of a compounding parallel theme that has emotional weight, that is a pretty, and has an existential kind of flavor to it. That's something, right? Losing, yeah.
When that to me is why this hits so well after the previous episode, which is Lantern loses, Maggie loses, Foggy loses, Karen loses, everybody, Matt loses. Everyone has played all of their hands, and there is no. That's the final play, and it turns out the first play was doomed from the start. But it doesn't hit. This is the kind of writing choice that is a swing, and this is what I appreciate is, while it's cliche and while it's sort of easy, if you will, it's a swing that misses, but I appreciate that they picked up the bat, right? I appreciate they tried this because it comports so many interesting questions of the show and then fails because, we already said, Karen is the same Karen. She's fully formed here. And I genuinely think that's the reason this doesn't work. Is it doesn't feel like this changes her in any way. And that's what this needs